Okay, so I know I'm late on this bandwagon, but yeah, I'm gonna do it anyways. No disclaimer, because you clicked on this video, you should know what you're gonna get to. Alright, so number one is that YG has produced some of the best rappers in the third generation. And if you don't agree that Bobby and Minho are some of the best rappers the third generation has to offer, we should talk. Because I think that it's very clear in all of their live performances, in all of their solo tracks, in Show Me the Money, that they have just proven themselves again and again, and I really hate when people discredit them just because they're from YG. Also, Mob was like one of YG's best ideas, and the fact that he let that flop was, yeah, he and I should talk. Number two is that girl groups get a disproportionate amount of hate. I've never quite understood this because girl group stands are interesting. They are all about empowering their own women, and yet at the same time they will tear other women down like really, really fast. You know, you can name any of the major girl group fandoms and you'll find that like hate in there. My multi-man fandom ass can't relate. I feel like if they're not getting hated on for a cute concept, they're getting hated on for not, you know, doing cute enough concept. They're getting hated on for dancing too much and lip syncing. They're getting hated on for not dancing enough and, you know, singing. They're getting hated on for being lazy, you know, when they've had like 15 comebacks this year. And I just don't see that sort of like hate on the guy side of things, like honestly. And I'm not a girl group stan by any means, but I do bop and enjoy the music. So I guess it's just an outsider's opinion, but y'all need to like unite instead of divide because, yeah. I don't know, that's some tea. Alright, the next one is that GOT7 is the most versatile artist and have grown the most in the third generation. In case you've never seen GOT7's debut video, it is something. I love them, but it was something. And JYP has done a lot with their music over the years. A lot of people are really upset with what JYP's been doing with their music, but I think he's actually been growing them a lot. In case you don't know, JB is an amazing producer, and he has been really honing his craft, I feel like, over the past few years especially. And they have really, I think, started to hit their stride. They're really comfortable with who they are now, and I've just seen so much overall growth. They have a really unique sound. I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, but they've just grown. Everyone's vocals have grown. Everyone has grown as producers, as singers, as actors, as like everything. And I'm really excited to see what the future's gonna hold because I'm really proud of them. I'm not biased or anything. Well, actually, I totally am, but, you know. The next one is that there's a reason why people will fight you over third generation groups not being the kings and queens of K-pop. Basically the biggest thing about this, and my biggest beef about it, is that a lot of these groups have just gained popularity. Whereas there have been groups like Super Junior and Girls' Generation who have been around for years. And then there are people like BoA and groups like TVXQ who have been around even longer than that. And if you think TVXQ can't still sell out a stadium, you'd be wrong, because I know people of all age groups who are fans of TVXQ. And I went to a Suju concert in Korea, and it was packed. Everyone was screaming. Also, they were like the nicest fans ever there. So yeah, like, and that's after 10, sometimes 10 plus years of being in the industry, going through multiple scandals, losing members, gaining members sometimes. Like, you know, back when they had slave contracts, you know, and they've stuck it out and they have risen above all that. And I think that's what really classifies them as like kings and queens of K-pop in my book, because, you know, yeah, they have like broken down barriers and they have set records before records were even a thing. You know, I Got a Boy was breaking records before, you know, the internet was like widespread, back when you had to get, you know, your AOL internet from a CD box. You know, it's just something that like I will personally fight you on, because, you know, if your group's only been doing something for the past couple of years and you're trying to say that they are more, you know, relevant and like have done more for the K-pop community than literally your idol's faves, then we're gonna have some words. I promise I'm gonna stop rambling on this now. Alright, the next one is that NCT's concept doesn't suck, they're not gonna flop, and there aren't too many members. This is something I've just seen everywhere. People seem to think, for some reason, that there are too many members in NCT. There are currently 18 members in NCT, and they're adding 3 more, which means that there will be 21 members in NCT. And that's more than any current boy group out there. But then again, I very rarely find that people like just have one group that they stan. Like, I know people who stan like, you know, 3 9-member groups easily. So if you can do that, why can't you stan NCT's 3 groups that they currently have? I also think that people get confused about all these different groups, but they all have a purpose. Like, it's not arbitrary and random. Like, there's a reason that they're adding more members, and it's because they're creating a Chinese group, specifically to promote in China. Like, these aren't people who are going to be added to 127. These aren't people who are going into Dream. These aren't people who, you know, will necessarily even go into NCTU. These are people who are being introduced because they're going to promote in China because they're Chinese. Also, Win-Win is going to get more lines in the Chinese comebacks, or I'm going to go burn down SM myself. And I understand the frustration that not everyone is promoted properly, but do bear in mind that a lot of these people being introduced will go into subunits where they will be more in a leadership position and in a bigger position because they're more like globalized. People like 10, you know, people like Johnny will definitely have more going on in the future. Also, quit acting like Mark is dying because he's leaving NCT Dream. He's not. Let the boy rest. He promotes all year round. Alright, the last one that I'm going to do, I think, for this is that if your fandom is toxic, then I cannot support your fave's music. This is something that's, for me, really personal, because I've been, like, targeted, and my friends have been targeted by a certain fandom that I'm not gonna name, with, like, death threats. And it's not cool. And it's really not cool, and it will turn me off from the music, because your fandom is a representation of the group. I know that, yes, there are going to be toxic fans in every fandom, but normally in other fandoms, they can be easy to ignore. Like, you know, I guess even, like, the nicest fandoms will have, like, toxic people, but most of the time, like, you know, idols will call them out, or, you know, other people will call them out and keep them in line. Like, that's part of your job as a fan, is to represent your group the best that you can. It's not to make excuses for the people behaving badly in your fandom. It's not an excuse, you know, to say, well, you know, it's just because, like, this group's really popular, so, you know, the fandom is big. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, if you're taking on the responsibility and you call yourself a part of that fandom, it doesn't matter which fandom it is. Like, you have to, like, be, like, reporting your fellow people who are, like, breaking rules or, you know, talking smack. Like, keep your fandom clean, control, like, yourselves, and nobody will shit on you. Like, or if they do, you know, you can come back with proof. On that side note, like, if you still participate in fan wars, please block me. Like, I'm too old. Like, I'm getting way too old for this shit. Anyways, I think that's all that I can drone on for. If you've reached the end of this video, congrats! I have coffee, but I'm going to drink it all. Yeah, let me know if you disagree. I will engage with respectful comments only. Alright, bye.